And it's in many ways made things very interesting to see how this drop is done. Not helped a lot of these earlier squads, but some have made it out. Start a fight, a team that I noticed from North America who actually did a good job. They 50-50 James nearly every single game. But in Game 6, turned that aggressiveness around and actually got a 21-point near win, which resulted in pushing them well up the leaderboards for a team that had struggled, sometimes contesting every match. It can lead you to figuring out eventually the right way to play.
These cars, Rain Day, these tridents moving around the map. One day we're going to see some real nasty catastrophe with these. Because, of course, if you're not familiar, for the uninitiated, if you're all in the trident and someone shoots the trident, you're all just getting riddled with those bullets. It spreads the wealth, so you need to be real careful about how you choose to rotate, and I'm looking forward to some disasters on that. ESA, though, in North America, like to just roll through with those tridents, but that's enough about NA. We are in EMEA now in this first day as we see Fenerbahce on the rotation. And now we can get an idea on where these teams have landed in this first game. Doesn't seem like there's too much contesting going on to begin with, so everything seems a little peaceful for now.
Oh, and it would be a peace that we would love to maintain, but we all know the tragedy, not of Macbeth, but of Storm Point. It will not end this way, and that's kind of the beauty of it. The calm before the storm. It looks like we could have a barometer ending. Definitely looking like it's heading towards that way. We've seen a lot of this. Some still northern rotation opportunities for SMS to head down. Won't see a lot of traffic. But also, you see some of these more seasoned teams, like Scars, like Rebel, like Guild, already making their way into that southern area where they feel the zone will end. And not to mention Rebel, already near barometer as well. PA taking a few shots, but the Rampage in hand, he'll be able to trade really well back.
Yeah, look, this looks like it might be a full send. Pinky Finky Tinky was heading in there on his own while his teammates were holding the angle. From what I could tell, we can see that Fenerbahce will still hold onto the roof and try and figure out what is going on. And indeed, there will be a Wraith portal there. So, Banash portal, excuse me. A portal of some description, but we'll see if they're both going to survive or if one team's going to choose to back off. But some early uncomfortable scenarios around this position. We'll see where they choose to head. It seems they will be falling back a bit for Fenerbahce, so they'll say hello, a little skirmish to start off with, but not going to overcommit to the situation.
Zeta Impulse playing the middle as well. The rotation, cylindrical center spot where they'll have a lot of good angles to pressure teams, but not really the best angle to hold yet. Still in search of that. Fenerbahce quickly working themselves away from what might have been an engagement that didn't suit them against Rebel. Guild, though, on the backside, waiting, and Zeta still rotating. Round one.
Bangalore.
Almost finishing, and yes, our first sight of a Bangalore here, as well as accompanied with the Bloodhound and the Valkyrie. Some nice synergy there with the smokes and the scans. But Bloodhound, a character that, for all intents and purposes, has fallen out of the meta recently.
Yeah, even in North America, where you could argue there was more popularity there, Crypto was, a lot of people tried to pick up Crypto on that side, and with mixed results, some spectacular failures. Yep. Whereas way more popular in Europe. But I do wonder how many Cryptos. I feel like Crypto may be falling off as well, just with the sheer amount of space that you have to cover on this map. That range may not be so useful, but we'll have to wait and see. But again, it is great to see Bangalore in action. Perhaps one of many, hopefully one of some. We'll have to see as we move around the map. And this region is nice for the late zones where you see these Valk rotations, see who's brave enough to try and land on the highest of high ground, which can often be found empty because everybody doesn't want to full send, because it's quite a commitment to make a rotation like that, and if you're wrong, then you're probably going to die.
Well, that's the thing. It's looking like it's going to pull away from the biggest tower of barometer potentially, and so a lot of teams are giving themselves the out, and that's what we'll see throughout the course of these days. Just a lot of teams playing for flexibility. The hard commits, even if you're watching pros, watching other pros, it's one of the biggest conversations you'll see. Wow, they're committing to this box. They're committing to this building. If it pulls this way, they're going to be screwed. And we often don't recognize that as much on broadcast as we could, but there's a lot of gutsy calls being made that is a 50-50 all-in gamble. And you're seeing Team Empire here getting a little bit of luck, not necessarily with a gamble, grabbing a shield, almost losing most of what they grabbed there, but another purple to work with as Fenerbahce do hold the high ground here with 19 squads still remaining and a beacon to be scanned.
Wraith, Bloodhound, Valkyrie. So again, not every team's going to have a Gibraltar, but again, there is a question of what that's going to look like when we get towards the end zone if they survive for that long. But for now, we have lost a team actually already, so we'll find out who that is. But apart from that, I think we're going to be waiting for this zone to move down. I think it's going to be a question of trying to level up the shields and so on for the time being. Blue and purple things look quite reasonable for Fenerbahce at present. We'll see Reply Totem now on the rotation. They have got some kills on the board, so they may have something. They may have had something to do with this elimination earlier on, and looking to make more of it now as down goes Lager, and we lose our second team as Solaris won't see any more sun today.
Oh man, what a start here from Reply Totem. 3 kills, and so they are now well ahead of the lobby. Remember, if you're new to Apex Legends, you start getting points for placement at 15. So nobody in the first 5 to die gets anything. Then you get 1 point, and then it starts increasing after really the top 10 into more points that matter. But 3 kills, well, that'll do it. That'll put you into at least a decent placement. And so a great start for Reply Totem, who are playing Edge. And we see this a lot more in Stormpoint, James.
Yeah, we do. Although I'm waiting to see more rotation with the cars in the zone, because you can put a... Oh, wait a second. I was going to say heat shield, but we don't have these in here, so never mind. The first team to be eliminated was Magicians, by the way, as we have seen, and Solaris have gone as well. And Magicians are capable of some jiggery pokery, so we might see them surprise us later on, but it will certainly be an early bath in this first game for them. But yeah, for those of you at home, you can get heat shields on those cars, so maybe try and figure out how you do that, throwing it underneath in your own games. But we won't be enjoying those shenanigans here just yet. So again, 18 squads left as people they're gonna enjoy their buildings. And again, with so much open space, the buildings are also important as they always are. But speaking of the rotations, if you're trying to Valk to this tower, which is being spotted at the moment, we're probably not going to see that in this particular zone, but in the future games, if you land there and you can't go on the inside, then where do you go? It could be quite the risk, but I'm interested to see how that plays out later on today.
And it's interesting. I think we're seeing a shift, James, of more of a Valkyrie-focused meta for sure, rather than the Gibraltar. And the Gibraltar is still there, kicking. You would say it's still maybe the #1 most important pick in these esports. But as teams start to find compositions that work away from Gibby, what you're seeing them give up to get is usually more utility in the form of vision or, in this case, movement. And you're seeing 2 options now to take that tower and barometer. If things get bad, they can skyward dive, but they can also Ash Portal and Phase Breach up there. And those are 2 completely different ways of assessing and interacting with a fight. One's that aggressive immediacy play, and the other one is let's gather intel. We might even be able to land right back where we started now that we have the awareness of where all these other teams are. So it's kind of, we're watching Apex Esports in a transition phase, I believe. And I think once we get to playoffs, we're actually going to see that transition having fully been made. I just don't know which way it's going to swing, but it's certainly exciting to watch the differences here that we've been able to see in Split 2.
Yeah, certainly movement seems more of a higher priority in terms of the decisions you take, and we'll see how Morning Stars are able to move across the map. There was an interesting potential scenario towards the top of the map where 2 teams were moving around the edge. You may see a skirmish there later on, but for now we still have 18 squads up. So, where are they going to land? Because this is going to be a densely populated area, and they could be in some trouble, not taking too much fire. And indeed, they find themselves an empty little cubby, so they'll be doing okay for now, but it is high risk and mixed rewards.
High risk and barely any reward here. At least the reward is delayed. And that is not, I would say, a behavioral training psychology principle there that would net a lot of value. You mean I got to take all this risk and I don't really get anything yet? And I got to work even harder to maybe have a chance? And I'm not going to take that dog treat right there. And so anybody who's trained a puppy knows, yeah, that's not a viable strategy. But Magicians, maybe here to get some imaging, see where they can pull off their biggest trick. Still some fighting going on over outside, though. Yep.
Sorry, Rainday. A quick correction. The overlay earlier said that Magicians had been eliminated, but it wasn't them. It was, in fact, Nemesis that was eliminated. And as we can see, Magicians are still in it.
It was an illusion, James. I mean, I can't believe you fell for it. Their name says it all. Come on, man. Oh, you've been
my bad.
You got to get back on here. You know, James coming back to cast just doesn't even really understand the Magicians pulling their classic trick. It's all part of their meta, but yeah, really fun training camp there as well. A lot of rabbits at land. But Alliance, you're in trouble, James. This isn't a trick. They go down. Oh, my goodness. Alliance taken down by Zeta, who now have 4 kills to their name.
I told you can't trust Vicky. She's basically cursed them by choosing him to do well today.
Oh, no.
So a nice pickup for Zeta Sunset, Zeta and Co. early on, though, Zeta Division. Very, very nice indeed. I'm going to be in so much trouble when she's on the microphone. But I'm going to enjoy it while I can. She can't say anything, so I might as well roast her for the next 30 minutes.
Hey, if you're not reading, you know, the talent chat, I mean, I guess you can't say anything. But if you are, she's saying quite a lot. We're not going to broadcast that one, though, guys. Phoenix Legacy here trying to get on the board. 17 squad still here as well. Importance with an R301. He hits a couple of headshots. Trades about 60. Takes about 50 of his own. Lippin trying to get an angle. No, just wait here. Nice head glitch to hold by. 2 R301s. It's tough to push on that. But they force the Gibraltar Dome, and that means there's a defensive bombardment coming up. Will this team decide to push? There may be no other way to go about it. And you can see Shades, Poji Blot, but they might be in a little bit of a sandwich themselves, taking R301 damage from the front on the high ground, trying to climb up, but behind them is a group of 2 who may be pushing in as well. So 1872 have to be very careful, and they also have to get out of a crypto drone in case they start making or taking too much damage. There's a lot on the line here with this push, but the zone is not allowing them to really take too much time.
Yeah, that's the combo meal deal. The crypto drone breaking the bubble and then the bombardment afterwards. But the space is such that you can fairly easily move around depending on the situation. But now Phoenix Legacy find themselves with some potential. Always got to be aware of your 6 though, because who knows if all this fire is going to attract another team. But they can potentially gatekeep at the moment. They've got high ground and these teams may have to rotate through them to get into the next zone. 1 minute 30 on the clock for now. As we can see, you know, those ults have come in, they've gone, and now they find themselves in potentially a bad position, but they can try and get some information seeking with that crypto. 1872 trying to get some shots over towards those supply bins. And maybe we'll see some rotations from that team as there's an exchange of grenades as well, and Target finds himself potentially in trouble, trying to find little cover with which to get some cells up.
Oh, and you know what? Hardeki, we just saw him involved. Could this be players getting from the top side into this fight, because that's where they had the angle on the Poji Blot? That might be players actually now gatekeeping Phoenix Legacy, who are gatekeeping 1872. Hardeki finds A10 as well, holding off this big massive shot. He misses. That's a huge whiff for importance. That was an important shot to hit. Lippin trying to cover the distance and make up for it. He will get one. Will he get another? That could be a down. It's a shield swap for Lippin as well. Phoenix Legacy doing a great job to try to rise from the ashes of a fight right here. It was ATK who was actually holding them. But that gate will stay open now. No keepers alive.
1872 just around the corner, but so far so good for the resume of Phoenix Legacy, a team looking to be picked up by an organization, surviving in a difficult situation, and there's potentially more to do. We've got some decisions to be made by what remains of that team, and again, we still have quite a few people in a concentrated area, none of them in the next zone, so rotations are going to have to come in eventually. We've got Horizonauts coming through, as well as 1872 try to fall back as best they can. But what play do they make? They've got a Wraith, they don't have that Valk, so they can't go over, they must go straight ahead or all the way around, as we see multiple domes now. They've got some rocks to try and hide behind, but that ring's starting to close, and 1872 may find themselves in a pickle very soon.
Luckily, this isn't a ring that's going to hurt that much when you look at it, but it will still hurt. And if they're taking pressure, they're going to have to somehow find a release from it and get out of dodge. Phoenix Legacy, Importance, man, he's been taking a ton of damage, but he's been doing damage as well. And 1872 do not want to give this fight up. It is the fight that is never-ending, the never-ending story. Will it have some type of conclusion here? It seems so, as Kavan does fully go down. Target FPS not working with the dimensional portal, but he does have somehow the ability to go into the void, and that might just be that last 5 seconds and that movement boost that can get him out of this situation. But it is Hardeki, it is Artico, it is Leogri who are on the money. Hardeki seizes the moment. He gets down, though, and Leogri and Artico have to pick up the pieces. But it is a difficult puzzle, maybe a 1,000-piece puzzle, and we all know how long those sometimes can take to finally find the right fit. Hardeki getting revived right now, James, but it is such a tenuous moment. They know there's still damage to potentially be done, so he drops the shield just in case they need to make a quick swap. But Hardeki feeling confident that they've gotten out of that one. 6 kills to the name, kill leader. Boy, oh boy, they start where they left off, didn't they?
If there's a team you don't want to run into after all that, as we mentioned, all that gunfire could attract other teams, it is players. This is the squad you didn't want to run into. Very interesting composition as well. They still have the movement with Valkyrie on the team, but they've also got the area control. They can isolate fights with the Bangalore smokes as well. So they've got 5 or 6 kills on the board already. So far, so good. A great start for them in this first game of the series. Nice work from the Phoenix Legacy earlier on, and that charge rifle now taking up more space that we previously saw from the longbow, which of course is in their replicator, and it's just so annoying to just shred your shields and so on. These players continue to start moving forward now and find themselves in some more cover. Another chance for them to stabilize.
And just because of those edge kills, they're going to be really good in terms of resources. They've got 1 med kit, but 10 shield cells. They have 3 shield batteries, at least on the side of Hardeki, working with a blue backpack, a couple of ordnances, definitely kitted up with a wingman and a very fast reload that you will see come, I'm sure, into play with a man of this skill. But Artico running the Bangalore, you're right. And this is part of their edge strategy, playing so much towards the open spaces. The really only way to get cover consistently without giving up the moment that you either are safe or not with the Gibraltar Dome Shield is the Bangalore smoke to create some type of quick cover that can allow you to get a bit of respite, James. And it's interesting to see Gambit really commit to this edge strategy and this lineup in such a way heading into game 1 of this new map.
Yeah, and they have a gold helmet at the moment on the Ash, and that might be hot potato depending on the situation. You might want faster smokes, you might want a faster like Valkyrie spam, so there's a lot they can do with that gold helmet, and they really need to bear that in mind with the current situation. But once again, they can stabilize, and again, if they do want to move forward, the cover offered by those Bangalore smokes will certainly come in handy. Hardeki and a wingman, as iconic as fish and chips in the United Kingdom, and that's never what you want to see if you're any other team. 13 squads remaining at the moment as that ring has become very small indeed. You've got teams trying to coexist in and around buildings. Oh my god, look at the carnage that's happening. Somehow Magicians still have doors. I don't understand how they've got so many doors on their building, but surely they're going to start to go soon as we've got a lot of trouble. These teams just can't coexist in this small an area, and surely we're going to start to lose some teams now. Zeta putting in more work, continuing as they started earlier on with some kills, and Reply Totem have gone. Zeta really getting a good amount of kills. We'll have a look at that later on as we can see that Horizon's putting in some work as well. He's got it down. We'll see if he can finish off the job there as well. Empire just trying to chill and just allow other people to engage. 80k, that is quite the heat map in their area at present. We can see Maliwan now just making sure nobody encroaches on their position, but that's a lot of artillery coming their way from the Bangalore. You do love to see it. As a Bangalore main myself, very happy to see so many in this lobby. We'll see what they're able to do now. It might just be to cross the open area faster that Cleaver's popped the ult, but they do have some action up close, and there are multiple guns trained on this position, but Rogers has gone down, and now they're fighting for their lives, and players are coming through to do yet more damage. 5 kills looking to be 6 soon as Hardeki continues to smash with the wingman. Spamming the Q as well is going to cause some problems, but Empire might be able to try and get some more players up. However, that Bloodhound scan is going to see what kind of situation they're in, and they will be harassed because of that. Maliwan with 1 HP as far as his health is concerned, just trying to get it up once again. Somehow, in all this action, we've only lost one team. We had 13 teams for ages, down to 12 now as he tries to rescue the rest of his team. How on earth are they alive? They're just not being given much. They've got less and less space to work with, and who does have space? We have Morning Stars now up with the Peacekeeper looking for those blind shots. Another Bangalore ult now, maybe replacing the bombardments with their frequency in this area. We just got action all over the place, but there are still domes here for people to survive.
Crazy stuff. We're back in the action, and oh my god, what action to be back for. Look at the way that this circle is moved. Morningstar is trying to get involved as well, taking the Wraith portal as best as they can. It's just Mask and Nisa trying to do it alone. Magician still alive. What kind of a trick can they pull? So far, a good enough one, James, but the Mastiff takes down one. Infito trying to stay alive, and it's really going to be up to him to get the shield battery off and Stanny to hold.
I don't know if they've reinforced these doors or they've just got no grenades coming their way. Maybe there's too much action outside. Have a look at this. We've got two teams outside the door, and immediately it's open sesame. They want something to do with this as well. Caesar Division trying to hold on. They've only got 2 players left, and that ring is on their back. The only way is forward, and now it's just Division alone. Impulse has to do it. The Peacekeeper, he's got 3 more shots with which to do it, but there's so much madness in front of him. He gets a shield swap as well. Can he do any more?
Kicks the door down. I'm coming, baby. And let's see if you can handle this. Oh, he cannot, Stanny. What a play from Magicians. It wasn't a trick after all. It was real magic. And that is what Stanny is known for. What a play. What a clutch. And you can see here, players, Rebels still alive, Magicians as well, able to do such great work. Fenerbahce holding on in the center building where most of these teams of the last 6 are still fighting around, but not on Rebel. Takes a quick down. It is players who might just be in the best position from here, James, and Hardeki with a wingman in his hand.
Look at the area
final
control.
Circles end up going. I know, and it's a quick phase breach. They don't like what they see. This might just be a better spot for them to end.
I love this composition. They can force the other teams to just go and fight each other. They can't find angles on players because of those Bangalore smokes. They have the rotation as well, and they can just pick people off. It's like peeling a scab off a knee. Looks absolutely disgusting, but they're thoroughly enjoying it. Players now getting more KP, moving up to 8 on Hardeki alone. Absolutely outrageous stuff from them. And again, there's smokes everywhere. Everybody's forced to look at everybody except for players, and they can just pick them off one by one.
They're not going to have to move when the circle moves in. They're going to have the most open space possible in this lobby. What a rotation from players. 8 kills on the side of Hardeki. Fenerbahce and the rest of the teams cannibalizing each other, eating each other's resources. And so when they face the big giant, they're not even going to get a chance to do so. It is Leogri and players cleaning up the lobby. What a clinic.